Israel says that it has killed Iran's top security chief. Now, if confirmed, the death would make Ali Larijani the most senior Iranian official to die in U.S.-Israeli airstrikes since the supreme leader died on the first day of the war. Iran has yet to comment on this claim, and there are reports that he may only be injured. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz said a separate strike killed the Basij paramilitary force commander. Well, I'm joined now by one of Israel's foremost scholars on Iran. David Menashri is professor emeritus at Tel Aviv University. He's also founding director of the Alliance Center for Iranian Studies. Professor Menashri is also an authority on the Israel-U.S.-Iran nexus. Professor, it's good to have you with us. I would like to ask you about what happened in the U.S. today to start us off. A top Trump intelligence official, Joseph Kent, resigned in protest against the war in Iran, and he blamed Israel and its U.S. lobby for pressuring America to go to war. Does he have a point there?
Well, I want to make a distinction between the person and what he says and the substance of what we heard from him. I don't know him well. I don't know all the political background and what led him to make this statement now. But to say that, Iran did not present an imminent threat to the United States, the question is how you translate this sentence. Of course, Iran was not going to war with the United States and destroying America, but it threatened interest of the United States in the region, including Israel and Saudi Arabia and other places. He may be, I think, partially right, saying that there were pressure on President Trump to enter the war. We could see that Trump was hesitant to start the war. He negotiated with the Iranians. He was waiting to get them some kind of green light to approve, actually, to do whatever United States want to do, and they did not surrender. And that Prime Minister of Israel was the moment that he went to Washington, and probably they spoke about the possibility of launching a preemptive attack. Israel was for it for a long time, and this was an opportunity for Israel. Now, to how much degree were to say that the tail is moving the dog or the dog moving the tail, it's a question that everyone could look at it differently.
But you would grant me the fact that if the U.S. president were to tell the American people that he was pressured into taking the country to war by the Israeli prime minister, that would be politically explosive for it.
No, I don't think you should say it. I don't think it will be correct to say it. But the question was whether or not outside elements, personalities, interfered and convinced him. He was open to hear. He spoke with many people. He spoke with people in Saudi Arabia, in Qatar, in other places, and he made his decision. I don't think it was doing a favor to Netanyahu or to the state of Israel. It was something that in one moment he decided that's the way, and he went on it. And I tell you, I'm not sure how long he will continue with it.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Looking at this war today, Israel claims that it has killed Ali Larijani, one of Iran's most influential security figures. How big a blow would that be to Iran's strategic core, if it's true?
Well, I'll tell you, probably it is true. That's what they say, and there is good signs to believe that Larijani is not with us anymore. Larijani is a very significant person in the hierarchy of power in Iran, was until today. When Khamenei was to decide who would replace him if he is being killed, he decided Larijani will head a committee of 3 people that they will take the responsibility. So, of course, if he is not, with us, there is a problem. But he is only one screw in the machine. You know, we have seen many people assassinated, killed in this war in the last 3 years since the Hamas attack on Israel.
Professor,
Everyone that, I tell you one sentence, just
yeah,
everyone that has been killed was replaced by someone who was worse than him.
yep. You know, Tehran has not confirmed Larijani's death. It's even published messages said to be his. I mean, is this denial or lack of confirmation? Is it a sign of disarray, or is it a deliberate tactic that you have seen Iran use before?
Well, I'll tell you, I'll make life more complicated for you. Do you know what's going on with Mujtaba Khamenei?
No, I don't.
Do we know if he's alive or dead? That is a war, and people are, for me, it was very strange that 4 or 5 days after his father was killed, or after he was nominated to be the supreme leader, he didn't show up in television, radio, making a speech, making a statement. He only has written a piece of paper that probably has been written by someone else. And I think that when you look at the situation in Iran, Larijani was one of the leading intellectuals in Iran. He wrote about Kant. He wrote about philosophy. And he was the head of chair of the Speaker of Parliament. He has many qualities, but he was also very extremist on one time, and he changed a bit. You know, people also change. Even Khomeini changed his mind. You face with the realities, you come with ideology, and then you face reality, and you have to conform with the life. And I think that I'll tell you something that you may not know, is that Larijani was disqualified to run for president for twice in his career. So that they thought he's too moderate. So it's a question of, the question that we are having here is not this person and another person. The question is, what is the situation in Iran and how it's going to affect the struggle for power in Iran and the people of Iran?
I know,
and
Professor.
If I may,
Yep.
Yeah.
We're running out of time. Let me get one question in before we run out of time, Professor. You have warned that Iran tries to avoid direct war. It prefers proxies. The killing of Larijani, does it push Iran closer to the kind of escalation that it has long tried to avoid? I mean, does it make a quicker end to this war now less likely?
No, I don't think it's so much matters. You know, we're taking one individual. It's not only one. Larijani is part of a family. There are three major persons in the hierarchy of power in Iran. They call the Kennedy brothers of Iran. But the killing or the death of one of them or someone else doesn't make the difference. The problem is that Iran is now struggling for its survival. The people are not supporting the government. The government doesn't have, they have the force, they have the power, they can suppress, but they need to find a way to speak with the people and come a solution that people will get to gain the results of the revolution. I have been in Iran just before the revolution in 79. Yes. The people went to the revolution because of food and because of liberties. There is no better economic situation to the poor people of Iran today. There is no more liberties than Iran. And I think this is what concerns the Iranian most.
Okay, Professor David Menashe, we appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. We appreciate you sharing your valuable insights, too, especially into what is possibly going on inside Iran. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's get more on this. We're joined by Sarah Bazubandi, a non-resident research fellow at the Institute for Security Politics at Kiel University. Thank you so much for joining us and for your time this afternoon. What is Iran saying about Israel's claims to have killed Ali Larijani?
Thanks for having me. Interestingly, only a few minutes after the news was disseminated by the Israeli officials, the account of Mr. Ali Larijani shared a handwritten note by him giving condolences to the veterans of the naval forces who lost their lives in the war and as a result of the attacks. So I really don't know what exactly has happened, but this has been the case that in the past when Israel claims that they have successfully managed to eradicate some of the senior officials, and the Islamic Republic at the beginning denies that, but then within matter of hours they confirm it. That was exactly the story with the supreme leader. They took a little bit longer than hours, but eventually they've confirmed it. So I don't know exactly what the truth is, but I would say that it's quite likely that he has been killed in that attack.
And Larijani, I mean, we know he has been a key figure. Just walk us through precisely what his role has been.
Yes, he has walked his way through a very successful political career in the Islamic Republic. He started off as the head of the Islamic Republic Broadcasting Organization, then moved to Majlis, then became the spokesperson of and the secretary of the Supreme National Security Council, which has been one of the, if not the highest office, only after the supreme leader in the Islamic Republic. He comes from a family that is very well connected. Almost all of the brothers within Larijani family have been appointed to really high senior positions. One of his brothers was the head of the judiciary. Until a few years ago, he was one of the candidates that would have had the potential to become the next supreme leader. Since the crisis began, he also made again another stronger return to political power. And what I was hearing from reports that were coming out of Iran from unknown sources and undisclosed sources, he was their decision maker since the eradication and the killing of the Iranian supreme leader. So he was a very powerful man, very influential. And I think his killing, his death, is going to have an obvious impact on the system.
Israel is also claiming to have killed the commander of the Basij militia. How damaging are you seeing this move potentially being?
Well, I think the head of the Basij is a very prominent and powerful figure within the oppressing and repressing apparatus of the Islamic Republic. Basij is the force that has been conducting most of the killings and shootings of the protesters. So eradication of the head of Basij would also have a huge domestic impact in the sense that it might create some weakness in the Islamic Republic if there was an outbreak of protest again anytime soon.
We're approaching the Persian New Year in the meantime. And, this has traditionally been a time of street celebrations. And I'm wondering, if you're looking at it through this lens, do you think that this could be a moment that may potentially become a spark for popular protest against the regime?
Yes, I think yes, it has the potential, and it has always been an opportunity for the people to express dissident against the regime. To what extent the security forces are willing to unleash violence against on the people is still unknown. To what extent people would feel safe to take to the streets is still unknown. But the tradition of coming out and having big gatherings and street parties and dancing around the fire and so on has always been the case. But given that there is a war condition going on in the country, it is very difficult for me to assess how many people are willing to come out, how the celebration will go on. But the mood is also generally very, very down across the country as a result of the war and the destruction that cannot be, completely looked over. But also, I think there is still some hope across the society that after Larijani, after these targeted assassination, after the killing of the head of Basij, this might be the moment that, for example, Prime Minister Netanyahu keeps promising the Iranian people, because in most of his direct addresses to the Iranian nation, he has said that ultimately you are the one who are going to bring the regime down, not us. We're going to help you, we're going to assist you. So I don't know whether this is the moment or not, but it has a lot of potentials for becoming one.
Sarah Bazubandi, thank you so much for your analysis. Security analyst at Kiel University. We appreciate it.
Thank you.